Dylan Harper's start in the NBA has been incredible. The Spurs managed to bring in a rookie who was already reliable and fit him straight into a team that looks ready to compete for a title.
Harper gets free. Dylan Harper shows up for the hometown. I don't know, but right hand.
Dylan Harper.
Picked second overall in the 2025 draft, Harper went from being a standout at Rutgers to becoming an important secondary playmaker on a Spurs team that won over 60 games. The Spurs are so good at drafting, man. They can spot talent really well, kinda like how Zion can spot a porn star from anywhere. Dylan Harper had one of the most efficient scoring stretches we've ever seen from a rookie in the second half of the season. His catch and shoot three looked absolutely money. Over his last 35 games, he had a 64.6% effective field goal percentage and 65.9% true shooting, while taking about 9 shots a game. That puts him third all time for rookies taking at least 7 shots per game, only behind Walker Kessler and James Worthy. What made it even crazier was that this was easily the best efficiency ever from a rookie guard. Like, even if you lowered the shot attempts to 4 per game, Dylan Harper was still at the top. He also ranked around 8th among all players with similar numbers, which again is wild for a rookie, because when you look at the list, it's mostly big men, centers, and power forwards who take easier shots near the rim. Although, as we have seen from DeAndre Ayton, maybe there is no easy shot around the rim. Harper was a rookie point guard with this level of efficiency, which again, I can't stress enough, makes it that much more impressive. I know most people are watching the Spurs because of Wembanyama, the 7-foot croissant-loving alien, but I really think Dylan Harper has the potential to become a multiple-time All-NBA player if he can get more opportunity. I mean, realistically, if Dylan was on any other team, he'd probably be the Rookie of the Year. Almost every time that he has matched up against another top rookie from his class, he has outperformed them. His touch around the rim is crazy. It actually reminds me of Shea, the way he drives, and it just feels like he's gonna score every single time. Now the difference is it took Shea a few years to reach that level, and Harper has already been showing flashes of it as a rookie.
Harper!
That's what we're saying, Sean. He's got ups.
You got to move the defense a little bit. 2 poor offensive possessions in a row, leading to easy scores for San Antonio.
Also, Dylan Harper doesn't have to constantly bait for free throws, he plays ethical basketball. After the All-Star break, Harper was averaging around 9 drives a game and finishing at 66%. For comparison, Shea was at 60%, obviously on way more volume, around 20 drives a game. Now obviously I'm not saying that Dylan Harper is anywhere near as good as the reigning MVP. They don't even get the same defensive attention. But still, for a rookie to be that efficient getting to the rim this early in his career, that's impressive. What makes Dylan Harper so good is that he's very efficient. He plays smart and does whatever the team needs. You know, the complete opposite of Cam Thomas. The fact that he's also a really good defender is disgusting. If him and Castle continue to develop their jumpers, that's a top tier backcourt for a very long time. Now on a Spurs team that already had Wemby and Fox, Harper found his role as a movement ball handler. Basically, he can run the offense when needed or play off others to keep things flowing. He switches between being a main creator and a secondary option really smoothly, which again is a big reason why the Spurs jumped from 22 wins to over 60 in just 2 years. Stat-wise, he's pretty solid across the board. He played 68 games, showing very good durability even with a minor calf issue, and averaged about 22 minutes a night. He put up 11.8 points per game on very efficient shooting, along with 3.9 assists, showing his vision and playmaking. He also grabbed 3.4 rebounds, which is pretty good for a guard. As I stated earlier though, what really stands out about Dylan Harper is his efficiency. He shot over 50% from the field and a respectable 34.5% from 3. His free throws are steady too at around 75%. Despite being a rookie guard, his shot selection is actually very smart. He doesn't force bad mid-range shots and instead looks for good chances at the rim or open 3. I also don't think that people are speaking enough about how much he's improved his 3-point shooting during the season. In the first 35 games of the season, he shot just 24% from 3. Bro was moving like Russell Westbrook. He ended up shooting at a blistering 46% from 3 in his last 31 games, at about 3 3-point attempts per game. Even the advanced stats back up how good he has been. He's made such a strong impact in limited minutes, and for a 19-year-old, that's so impressive because he's playing winning basketball, he's not chasing stats, and it's clearly working. Now the thing is, Dylan Harper didn't just show up ready for the NBA by accident. A lot of that comes down to how he grew up and the environment he was in from day one. He was born in 2006 in New Jersey and grew up in a basketball family. His dad, Ron Harper Sr., won 5 NBA titles with teams like the Chicago Bulls and the LA Lakers. So Dylan was always around the game and understood what it takes to win. That really shows in how he plays. He understands his role, he plays smart basketball, and he doesn't force things. He's not Jalen Green. His older brother, Ron Harper Jr., also went through Rutgers and made it to the league with the Toronto Raptors, so Dylan had a clear path to follow. At Don Bosco Prep, Harper was one of the best players in the country. He dominated high school, leading his team to a state title and picking up a bunch of big awards, including Player of the Year in New Jersey and national recognition. He also showed out in the biggest high school games. He was co-MVP of the McDonald's All-American Game and MVP of the Jordan Brand Classic, which again basically confirmed he was one of the best prospects in the country. Now, instead of going to a big name school like Duke or Kansas, Harper stayed home and played for the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. He wanted to prove that top players don't have to leave New Jersey to succeed. A big reason for that choice was his relationship with the head coach, Steve Pikiell, who he already knew from coaching his brother. He also teamed up with another top recruit, Ace Bailey, and together, they completely changed the program. As a freshman, Harper was dominant. He broke the school's freshman scoring record and averaged around 19 points per game. He also added 4 rebounds and 4 assists, showing he could do a little bit of everything. He had some big performances, like dropping 36 points in a tough overtime win over Notre Dame, and he finished the season with all Big Ten honors. He just looked so mature and comfortable in big moments, which naturally made the jump to the NBA feel seamless. Going into the 2025 draft, Harper was seen as one of the safest and most complete prospects, so the San Antonio Spurs took him second overall. Reports indicated that he was basically the only player that the Spurs focused on before the draft. They wanted a guard who could score, play smart, and fit next to Wembanyama, and Harper, well, he checked all of those boxes. After signing, he played in the Summer League, and he looked exactly like you would have expected. Very smooth with the ball in his hands, always under control, and super competitive on defense.
To play in the third, Champagne, nice pass from Harper. Victor with 5 blocks. And Dylan Harper in the open court. I mean, there's almost nowhere.
The Spurs went 4-1, and Harper carried that same level into the regular season. He made his NBA debut in October of 2025, and not long after, he was already winning Rookie of the Month. From there, it just kept building into the season he had. Now, Harper's rookie season really stands out when you look at some of his biggest moments.
He's had a great night doing this all the way. He's got too many tricks. His bag is too deep. Euro step around the defense. Can finish with either hand. Stronger than advertised.
Whenever he was asked to do more, especially against strong Western Conference teams, he stepped up. In his NBA debut, his first game against the Dallas Mavericks, he came off the bench, put up 15 points, 4 rebounds, and 2 assists. The numbers alone were impressive, but what was even more impressive was how smooth he looked. He fit into the team without forcing anything, which is exactly why the Spurs drafted him.
Harper alone, able to lay it in.
He's got 12 points. 4 rebounds, 3 assists, and a couple of steals. He has been excellent.
Then against the Indiana Pacers, Harper had his best scoring night with 24 points on super efficient shooting. He was great in transition, took smart shots, and got to the free throw line where he didn't miss. Now I know that beating up the 2025-2026 Indiana Pacers is not that much of an achievement, but it was obvious that the Spurs were way better with him on the floor that night, and it showed just how much he can impact the game on both ends.
That's it, Harper flies and scores. Rebounds, and Dylan Harper, magic to end the first half.
On December 28th, 2025, we saw Dylan Harper's playmaking. Harper dropped 12 assists and added 7 rebounds, and even though the Spurs lost, he showed that he can run an offense when needed. He was constantly finding open teammates, especially Wembanyama, and proved that he could be more than just a secondary option. Then you have his run in February, and this was his best stretch overall. He averaged around 12.5 points and nearly 5 assists per game, and ended up winning the Rookie of the Month in the West. And these weren't empty numbers like what Cooper Flagg has done. The Spurs went 10-0 in those games played in that month. That tells you how much of an impact Dylan Harper has on winning basketball. Now again, his numbers have been good, but it's Harper's style of play that makes him so valuable. Everything about his game feels calm and under control. He never looks rushed, he never panics, and always seems to be playing at his own pace. At 6'6" and around 215 pounds, Harper has great size for a guard. It sounds like I'm glazing him for a dating profile, but it's true. He's stronger than most players in that position, so contact doesn't really bother him. Add in his long wingspan, and it gives him an edge when he's finishing at the rim and defending. Being left-handed also helps him a lot. Defenders aren't used to it, so it throws off their timing. Around the rim, he's got a great bag. He can hit floaters, tough finishes, use the glass, and although he's left-handed, he's actually comfortable with both hands, which makes him even harder to stop. One of his best moves is when he slows things down in the pick and roll. He keeps the defender behind him and he controls the whole play. Once he's in the spot that he wants to be in, he can do whatever he likes. Then you have, of course, his IQ and playmaking, which I mentioned earlier. Harper plays like someone who's been in the league for years, not a rookie. He reads the floor well, and he makes the right decision most of the time. He knows when to score and when to pass, which is actually kind of rare for young players in the NBA. Everybody wants the flashy play so that they can go viral on IG, Twitter, and TikTok. Dylan Harper isn't like that. Even back at Rutgers, he was leading the team in both scoring and assists. So what we're seeing from him isn't new, it just carried over to the NBA level. Now the defense is where he surprised a lot of people. He's very tough on the ball, he doesn't shy away from matchups, and he can actually guard multiple positions because of his size. That's why he fit perfectly into the Spurs system, which has been one of the best defensive teams in the league. Because he competes defensively, it's another big reason why he stays on the floor. The new Spurs team is built around a mix of young talent and proven stars, so naturally Dylan Harper fit in perfectly. His arrival came right at the same time that the Spurs made some big moves, like bringing in De'Aaron Fox. This team is so young that Fox has basically become a veteran, but the core of the team is still young because they have Wemby, they have Stephon Castle, and now Dylan Harper. Fox runs the offense and takes over in big moments.
Fox off the in-and-out cross, knocks down the midi.
Castle handles the toughest defensive assignments, and Harper, he sits right in between. He brings scoring, playmaking, and a lot of energy off the bench. The fact that he doesn't try to do too much and just plays his role is a big reason why this team has been so good. I saw Steve Nash talking about this, saying that Harper's patience on a good team reminds him of his early years when he had to learn behind other great guards. Right now, Harper isn't forced to carry everything, so he can just focus on making the right plays and being efficient. The connection he has with Wemby is fantastic. Wemby's size and defense makes things easier for Harper, especially on defense because he can be way more aggressive knowing there's an absolute alien behind him that can protect the rim. On offense, it's just as smooth. Harper reads the game well and uses the attention that Wembanyama draws to find easy passes, whether it's a lob or a simple drop-off. When the Spurs traded for Fox, it showed that they weren't trying to rebuild slowly. They wanted to win right away. In my opinion, Harper has benefited a lot from that. He gets to learn from an all-star point guard while still getting the chance to run the second unit, and I mean, it clearly works. They won over 60 games because of that mix of experience and young talent. So while Fox and Wemby get the headlines, Harper is playing a key role behind them. Because of how good he's been, there's been a lot of debate about how high his ceiling can be. I've seen a lot of people compare him to James Harden because of how he controls the pace and scores with skill instead of relying purely on athleticism. Best case, he can probably become an MVP level player who runs the entire offense. In the short term, and more realistically, he might be the perfect second or third option on a championship team. The biggest factor in determining his ceiling will be his shooting. If his pull-up three becomes elite, then things really open up for him. But even if he doesn't become a superstar, Harper already has a very high floor. Because he does a bit of everything from scoring, to passing, to rebounding, to defending, he will always have value. And that's what makes him so interesting. He might not be the flashiest player. He's not dunking on people like Anthony Edwards or pulling out hezzies like Kyrie. But he's the kind of guy that every winning team needs, and he's already proving that so early in his career. To see how good the rest of the San Antonio Spurs team around Dylan Harper is, you have to watch this video right here.